I came to in the dark with cold in my bones and slime under my palms, and for a second I thought I had done it, that I had found the upside down again. But the air here tasted like burning metal and wet rust, and the ground pulsed slow and heavy like a sick heart. I pushed up and the surface wrinkled, skin over concrete, veins of dull blue light crawling and then fading as if they were embarrassed to be seen. The sky was a bruise full of red lightning stitched into it, the kind that makes the atmosphere feel thick on your teeth. I had meant to open my old door, to drop into the place where the dust floats like snow and the world hums in the low register of nightmares. Something else grabbed the edge of my power and pulled. I do not like being pulled. My name is 11. I breathe slow until the panic backs off. Hopper used to say, count something real. I count the ribs in the wall where rebar shows through, the rivulets of oil running down like tears, the beat of the thunder in the distance that is not thunder. I listen, not for footsteps, for intention. There is a pressure in this place, a mind like a cathedral full of mirrors trying to see me from every angle and failing. That helps. Things that cannot see me right tend to make mistakes. A wet scrape behind me. I turn. The silhouette stands tall, all long limbs and wet leather skin, head unfolding like a flower full of knives. Demogorgon. Familiar, almost comfortingly simple, until it steps into the light that leaks from a shattered machine shrine, and I see the plates of bone screwed into its ribs and sigils, carved along its sternum that burn faint blue when it inhales. Someone tried to make it better and only made it worse. It hisses. I lift my hand. I think no. The air decides to be heavy, and the creature slams into the rippling wall hard enough to crater it. I hold until the sound inside its head stops. Its body sags, armor cracking, leaking black and red. More shapes gather in the fog, small, fast, angry. Rats with open backs and sacks of pus along the spine. I know them. They used to explode in basements in Hawkins and shriek at the same time. These are studded with tiny brass nails and lit with pinprick red optics. Someone noticed their habit and turned it into doctrine. They rush. I sweep my hand in a shallow arc. Their fuses go out like birthday candles. They tumble and hiss, and I still them before they think of another trick. The ground rolls. Far off, machines chant. It is prayer, but not the kind that worries about souls. The syllables are equations, praise as maintenance protocol. Red eyes burn through the steam. Soldiers with bodies like scaffolding and lungs like bellows step from the smoke in perfect angles. Their weapons hum with caged lightning. They take one look at the mess I made and recite something to calm their machine spirits. I do not move. It is always better when the first movement is yours. Their leader wears red and brass with bones in his mask and a collar of cables that crawl like tame snakes. His voice arrives through a speaker that tries to make it sound holy. Designation, he says. Threat and purpose. I lick the blood off my upper lip and keep my voice even. 11. Lost. Trying to go home. He tilts, optics irising. Home requires coordinates, he says. You are a living cipher. Behind him, a broken human that is not human drags itself by metal elbows. A servitor. Its mouth is a speaker full of old teeth. It rattles and spits static. Anomaly located. Cross-reality intersection. Scar expanding. The word scar lands where I keep my anger. The red lightning braids tighter. The air goes thin. The pressure that watches me rearranges itself and giggles with two mouths at once. It is the wrong sound for laughter, like glass beads poured over a map. The soldiers feel it. Their machine prayers get louder. My mark burns on my wrist. Hopper would say, make a plan that survived the first punch. I breathe. I open the part of me that is a door, and I look up into the storm. The sky ripples. A shadow arrives with wings like broken windows and a crown that keeps changing shape to stay important. Two heads, both smiling. I hear the name without needing to hear it. Kairos Fateweaver. It rolls through my mind like a rumor you wish you had not learned. It tastes like books that write themselves and stairways that go nowhere. Girl who bleeds gold, the left head sings. Girl who opens doors, the right one purrs. Your thread is not in my loom. That makes you an error. I should be comforted that it cannot see me right, but the way the soldiers drop to one knee and chant tells me this thing does not need perfect sight to unmake people. I step between it and them. This is not because I love them. It is because civilians will die if they die, and civilians always die first in places like this. My voice must be steady. Leave, I tell it. Find someone else to bother. It spreads its hands as if to bless me with fire. The red lightning tightens into a single spear, and it tries to push it down my throat. I let it come. I take it into my chest where the scar tissue is, and I feel the old lab room, the tape on my cheek. Brenner's quiet disappointment, a hallway full of alarms at Hawkins' middle, Mike's hand in mine at the quarry, Hopper's laugh in the kitchen, the chair in the void when I was small, and the black water up to my ankles. I turn all of that into a weight. The bolt hits and stops like a knife touching stone. I do not move. The daemon's smiles flicker. It is a good moment. I allow myself one heartbeat to appreciate it. Then I give the lightning back, not as a line, as a sphere. Pressure blooms around me, soundless at first, then peeling the rust off the air with a crack that leaves the world blinking. The front of the daemon tears like wet silk. Pink and blue things spill from behind it, little giggling flames in bodies that pretend to be hands. Pink horrors. Their laughter tries to rewrite the equations in the soldiers' rifles. I write louder. I pinch my fingers together, and the gigglers stretch into strings and pop. The daemon is already remaking itself. The future in its left head blinks, and the past in its right head denies me. I step forward through the spatter. The ground throbs. The soldiers behind me adjust to my pace without knowing it, a phalanx of metal faith. The red-robed priest speaks on a private channel he thinks is private. Saint or witch, he says. Tool or truth. I do not answer because I am busy. The daemon folds its wings into a hedge maze and pretends there is no center. The trick might have fooled me when I was 13. I am not 13. I look at the pattern, not the walls, and I walk through it. My nose is bleeding in a way that tastes like coins. I do not wipe it. The daemon tries a different angle. It pulls a memory from me like a string on a sweater. Snow falling on the buyer's living room. Christmas lights blinking a code. Will's voice in the wires. I let the memory exist. I do not give it control. The daemon frowns with both mouths. Good. I lift both hands. The air recites a pressure hymn it learned from me a long time ago. The daemon's knee buckles. Its wing cages crack. It speaks in 100 voices at once, and none of them are brave. You do not belong here, it says. The universe you love cannot hold what you have become. That is not your decision, I tell it, and I drive my will through its sternum where all those sigils meet. The world buckles without breaking. The daemon comes apart in pages, text tearing free of the book and catching fire. For a moment, the storm loses its script. I take that moment and hand it to the soldiers. Move, I tell them, and they do. They form a circle and make a machine out of themselves, a rosary of rifles, and they hold the line while the lesser things boil and fail. I bend down to the servitor that warned me. One eye still clicks. The voice rattles. Destination query, it says. I close my eyes. Hawkins. The word is a room with a door that will not stay shut. The red lightning above answers with a knot. The priest is at my shoulder now, cables shivering. His voice is quieter. We can calculate a path, he says. We can try to build a gate. We will need your pattern. The daemon's laughter is still in the edges of the air, thin as fishing line. I taste iron. I taste home. I look at the priest and the soldiers and the civilians I feel hiding in the ducts above us. I nod once. We will build the math, and I will be the weight that keeps the bridge from drifting. But understand this, if the gods that play in your sky come back to take what I owe no one, I will break their hands. He bows in a way that creaks. Praise adapted, terms understood. Somewhere far across the hive, sirens start and stop, as if the world is trying to remember how to be a city. I open my palm. The mark on my wrist glows. It is a two-headed eagle burned into the skin, a gift from a place that hates gifts. I do not hate it. It reminds me that the door I need is not only mine to open. I reach into the storm. I pull it down inches at a time until the red threads quiver and align. I think of a table with 3 chairs and a stack of waffles and a bad cup of coffee that tasted perfect because of who made it. I think of a boy's hand that shook when it held mine the first time. I think of a letter that smelled like smoke and pine and told me I was not a mistake. The air obeys. A circle flowers above the ruined street, pale and exact, not the ragged wounds I used to tear when I was a child. The soldiers murmur. The priest records. I take 1 step toward the light and stop, because the air to my left cools in the way it does when something pretends to be a shadow. Kairos is not finished. Of course he is not. His voice skates along the glass of reality. Find your home, little door, he says. Every home is a cage built by a kinder Gaoler. I do not give him the satisfaction of an answer. I hold the bridge steady until the machine prayers sync with my pulse. I do not step through yet. First, I teach the Red Lightning a new rule. This path is mine. No daemon crosses on my name. The circle tightens. The storm hisses. The priest whispers a word I do not understand and means, "Thank you." I nod without looking away from the light. I am coming. I tell the room that is a town that is a promise. Wait for me. And then I breathe deep. Feel the weight of this place settle in my bones to keep me honest, and start the count that will carry me home. I don't know how long I've been falling. The light from the gate twists around me like ribbons, pulling tight and then snapping loose again. It's not a tunnel like before, not the wet, choking corridor of the upside down. It's colder, mathematical, mechanical, built by minds that see the soul as a formula. Somewhere in the distance, I hear the machine prayers of the priest and the hum of the Skitarii engines fading out behind me. Then nothing. Just the noise inside my head that sounds like static pretending to be a heartbeat. I land hard, not on ground but on a surface that reacts to touch like water trapped in metal. My breath fogs white. When I look up, the sky isn't red anymore. It's black, but full of cracks that leak starlight, like the universe is bleeding through its own skin. The first thing I smell is blood. The second is oil. I push myself up, listening. There are whispers. Not voices, not at first, just thoughts that don't belong to me, soft as moth wings. Then they start speaking English, or something close enough. Welcome, small storm. It's a child's voice, echoing from everywhere. I turn slowly. Shapes crawl out of the dark, small things that walk like children but shine from within. Their faces a blur of light and static. They move closer, giggling, and the giggle turns into words. The warp knows you, the warp loves you. I take a step back, their glow sharpens. They aren't children, they're what's left of them, souls stretched into knots, tethered to the echoes of their laughter. I swallow hard. You shouldn't be here, I tell them, but they only laugh louder. One reaches for me, its hand phasing through my shoulder like smoke, and the place it touches burns cold. I push out with my mind. The field cracks around me like frozen glass. The ghost children vanish, their voices still echoing in the cracks. She's coming, one whispers before it's gone. The ground shakes. Far off, a tower unfolds from the mist, made of bones and cables, spiraling endlessly into the broken sky. I know that voice, not from memory, from instinct. The daemon is back, only now it's using something worse than form, it's using meaning. I start walking, because standing still here feels like surrender. Every step I take, the world changes. The floor becomes glass, then ice, then living tissue, then dust. I keep going. My pulse becomes the only rhythm that makes sense. When I reach the base of the tower, I see them again, the Mechanicus soldiers, or what's left of them. Their bodies are still upright, but their heads are hollow. Empty helmets leaking light. The priest is kneeling, his hands fused into the controls of a massive machine that keeps whispering the same 2 words, recalculate. Recalculate. His eyes turn toward me, though he shouldn't be able to see anymore. The coordinates. Collapsed, he says, voice full of static. You're inside the equation now. Can I leave it? I ask. He tilts his head, metal groaning. Not unless you change it. The machine behind him shudders, the air ripples. A door begins to open at the top of the tower. No hinges, no handle, just an absence that grows until it's big enough to swallow the stars. I know what's coming. Kairos. His laughter precedes him, echoing like a bad dream stuck on repeat. He doesn't walk. He flows, both heads whispering to each other in a language that burns to hear. I can feel him inside my thoughts, sifting through my memories like pages. Hawkins, Papa, the boy. You hide your pain inside affection. How quaint. Get out, I whisper. You built the door, he says. You made the mistake of believing doors are meant to close. His wings stretch, wide enough to cast shadows where light shouldn't exist. You opened one between your small world and mine. Did you think it would ever stop widening? The truth hits me like a punch. The rift wasn't closed, it was mirrored. Every time I open a gate, the warp remembers how. My stomach twists. Then I'll fix it, I say. He tilts one head, curious. Fix? You cannot fix a wound by bleeding more. His other head sneers. But bleed you will. He swings one claw the size of a car. I throw up my hands and catch it mid-air. The impact bends the world. Shockwaves ripple through the tower, shattering bone and glass. For a second, we're both still, caught in a deadlock that feels eternal. His strength is unreal. Mine is everything I have ever lost, sharpened into a weapon. You're strong, he admits, both voices overlapping. But you're still one small mind. He tries to fold the space around me, make gravity forget what direction means. I shove back. I pour every ounce of memory into the resistance. Mike's face, Hopper's laugh, Max's scream, Will's quiet fear. The snow, the waffles, the blood, the music, the light, the love, the loss. I let it all burn at once. The shock tears the tower apart. The priest screams something that sounds like a prayer, but the machine devours it before it can reach anyone. Kairos roars. The ground splits. We fall together through the void. The red lightning returns, curling around us like serpents. He tries to reach me again, but his claws melt before they touch me. You can't stop what's already happened, he hisses. The warp has roots in your world now. Then I'll burn them out. I stretch both arms wide. My body feels like it's being carved open from the inside. Every nerve on fire. My blood turns to light. I don't fight it this time. I guide it. The light spreads through the cracks in the void, crawling along the invisible lines of reality until it finds the paths between worlds, the ones I tore when I was young, scared, and angry. I see them all at once, like strings on a map. Hawkins, the lab, the upside down, this hive, the warp, all tied together, bleeding into each other. I grab them with my mind and they scream. This isn't your place, I tell Kairos. And neither am I. I pull. The strings snap. The explosion isn't sound or heat, it's forgetting. The warp around me disintegrates, turning to dust, to silence, to peace. The daemon's scream fades into nothing. I fall again, but this time there's no fear, just quiet. When I wake, I'm lying in a field of dead grass. It's raining softly, the kind that smells like real water. I can hear birds. My throat burns when I breathe, but it's air, not smoke. Hawkins. I sit up. The town looks normal from here, but I can see the scars, the places where buildings don't line up right, where the light bends, where time skipped a beat. The gate is gone, but something's different. The world feels heavier. My wrist burns again. The mark still glows faint gold. I touch it. It hums. Behind me, in the distance, thunder rolls. I can almost hear laughter in it, faint and far away, like a memory refusing to die. I whisper to myself, "Not this time." I stand, pull my hood over my head, and start walking toward town. Each step feels real. For now, The rain doesn't stop for hours, and I let it wash the blood and ash from my hands as I walk. Hawkins looks almost alive again, like someone pressed rewind on a nightmare and forgot to tell me. The houses stand, the lights glow, but the air isn't right. There's a hum behind the silence, a pressure under every sound, like the world's holding its breath. I know that feeling. I've lived inside it. When I reach Main Street, I see them people. Ordinary people. But their eyes shimmer faintly when the lightning flashes. They move like sleepwalkers, unaware of me, unaware of anything. One man crosses right through a puddle of blood that isn't wet anymore. I call out. No answer. I move closer. His head turns toward me, but his face doesn't. His skin moves half a second too late, his eyes flicker with red light, and his mouth whispers in binary. Residual interference detected. My stomach twists. The warp didn't die, it hid. I grab the man's shoulder. His body collapses into steam. The smell of ozone fills my lungs. It's trying to rewrite Hawkins, replace it line by line with something mechanical, obedient, wrong. I close my eyes and stretch my senses out. The town hums like a hive, each heartbeat out of sync with the next. Somewhere deep, under the earth, something big is still awake. The air bends around my thoughts, showing me the path like veins under skin. I start walking toward the woods. The rain thickens. The ground turns to mud. The closer I get, the louder the noise becomes, until it's no longer noise but chanting. 100 voices speaking in machine code, every syllable perfectly in rhythm. I follow it through the trees until I see the light cold blue, pulsing. There's a circle carved into the dirt, runes glowing with mechanical fire. At the center stands a figure built from metal, flesh, and glass. Its face is hidden behind a cracked screen showing static. I know what it is before I even speak. A Magos, one of theirs. One that shouldn't have crossed through. The red robes hang in shreds around its frame. Its servo arms twitch like dying spiders. I step forward. You shouldn't be here. The Magos turns its head, the screen flickering, its voice full of feedback. Correction. We are home. The machine god calls across realities. You opened the way. My blood runs cold. I closed it. False. You sealed your door. You left ours open. It raises one arm, and the ground around us stirs. From the mud-crawl-shaped Skitarii, their armor cracked, their flesh black with rot, their eyes burning with chaos fire. Not the Omnissiahs anymore, now they serve something else. I feel the pulse of the warp leaking through their circuitry like poison. They move in perfect formation, rifles raised, chanting in metallic unison. Saint of the circuit, witch of flesh, deliver us to entropy. I don't bother answering. I pull the power up from the pit in my chest, where it always waits. The lightning above hears me and bends toward the ground. The Skitarii fire first. Bolts of plasma slice the air, white and gold. I deflect the first wave with a thought, the energy curling into a dome around me. The second wave hits harder. I grab it mid-air, twist it, and throw it back. The explosion sends half their line into the trees. Armor melting. The rest charge. I meet them head-on. The world becomes movement, noise, heat, red flashes of violence. I crush one's helmet with my hand, the metal folding like paper. Another swings its rifle. I shove it through its chest before it can fire. They're fast, but not fast enough. I've fought worse than this. I've died for less. Still, they don't stop. They keep coming, their prayers growing louder, as if pain is faith. The equation must balance. The Magos intones. The god must wake. I turn toward it, blood dripping from my nose, my hand trembling with exhaustion. The only god you're waking is death. It tilts its head. Then we will praise him too. The ground opens. I stumble back as a massive shape rises from the circle. A daemon engine, stitched from the remains of the town cars fused with flesh, human faces screaming from its armor, limbs made of bone and steel. It towers over the trees, each breath a furnace blast. Its voice is not its own. It's many, overlapping, all crying for release. 11. It says my name like a curse. The Magos kneels before it. "See, Omnissiah, your daughter returns." The daemon looks down at me, its eyes twin suns of warp fire. "You are not my daughter," I whisper. "You're a mistake pretending to be meaning." I lift both hands. The storm answers. Lightning gathers around me, blue-white and alive. I can feel the strain in my veins, the power burning through my skin. The daemon roars and charges. Its claws tear trenches in the ground, fire spilling from its mouth. I catch the first strike with my mind. It hits like a planet falling. My knees buckle. The second strike follows before I can breathe. I twist aside, barely. Trees explode. The smell of scorched earth fills the forest. I can't match it with strength, so I use memory. I reach back to every gate I ever opened, every monster I ever faced. I reach for the darkness Brenna forced into me and turn it outward. The daemon engine freezes mid-step. Its metal groans. The souls inside it scream. I close my eyes and push harder. The lightning snaps into a single, perfect point above its chest. I drive it down. The sound is pure and terrible. The blast rips through the forest, flattening everything. When the light fades, the daemon is gone, the circle burned into glass. The Magos lies shattered, its screen broken, whispering the same word on loop. Beautiful. I kneel beside it. "You destroyed your god," I tell it. It laughs once, a sound like tearing metal. "No, we met him. He was you." The light dies in its eyes. I sit back, shaking. The rain finally stops. For a moment, it's just quiet. The forest smokes. The sky above clears enough to show the stars, but they're wrong again, arranged in spirals that move when I'm not looking. I can still feel the pull between worlds, weaker but alive. The warp isn't done with me. I don't think it ever will be. I look down at my wrist. The mark is brighter now, the two-headed eagle glowing gold, but under it I see something new, lines of blue light spreading from it like cracks. I don't know if it's power or infection, maybe both. I close my hand into a fist. "You're not taking this world," I say softly. "Not again." Somewhere behind me, I hear movement. A voice, young, scared. "El?" I freeze. My heart jumps. That voice. I turn slowly. Mike stands at the edge of the trees, soaked, pale, eyes wide. He looks real, solid. "It's you," he says. "I thought you were gone." I take a step toward him, but something feels wrong. His shadow doesn't follow him. It stretches the other way, reaching toward me, moving like liquid. I stop. His smile flickers. The air between us distorts, a shimmer like heat on asphalt. "You're not him," I whisper. The thing wearing Mike's face tilts its head. "Don't you want to come home, El?" I shake my head slowly. "I already am." It lunges. I let it. I meet it halfway, both hands out, my power exploding through its shape like sunlight through glass. It screams not in his voice, but in 1,000. When it fades, the woods are empty again. Just me. Just the rain starting up once more. I wipe the blood from my lip and look toward the horizon. The lights of Hawkins are flickering, some too bright, some too dark. The cracks in the sky pulse faintly red. I know what that means. The rift is waking up. Again. And I'm the only one who can close it. I start walking, every step slower than the last. My head aches. My heart feels too heavy. But the world needs fixing, and I'm not done yet. Not until it's quiet for good. The walk back into town feels longer than it should. The air thickens the closer I get, charged with something that hums against my skin like static before a storm. Every street I pass looks almost right, windows clean, lights warm, but I can see the wrongness bleeding through the edges. A lamppost hums a hymn under its breath. A dog barks in binary. The world is remembering what it became when the warp touched it, and it's trying to become that again. My boots splash through puddles that shimmer red for a moment before settling into water. The mark on my wrist burns every few steps, warning or countdown, I can't tell. At the end of the street, the ground is split open where the rift used to be. The cracks glow faintly, pulsing in time with my heartbeat. The hole isn't big enough to see into, but it's alive. I kneel at the edge and listen. The sound isn't just coming from below, it's inside me too, a whisper that's patient, calculating. Open it again. You know you want to. I breathe in through my nose, count 4, out for 4. Hopper taught me that when nightmares came back too sharp, the air smells like iron and rain. I whisper to the crack, "You're not home. You're a wound." The whisper laughs softly in my head. All wounds want to heal. All healing means opening first. It's my voice speaking back to me. That scares me more than any monster. I push the thought away and stand. The street trembles once, a pulse moving through the ground. Somewhere nearby, I hear metal scraping against stone, and footsteps too heavy to belong to people. I turn and see them emerge from the fog, 3 figures, armored head to toe, painted in the red and black of the Mechanicus. Their weapons glow faint blue, humming with energy. They stop when they see me. One raises a hand, fingers clicking open into a weapon. The tallest one steps forward and speaks through a distorted filter. Designation 11. The Omnissiah requests your return. I'm not yours, I say. My voice echoes longer than it should. The leader tilts his head. Incorrect. Your frequency matches the pattern of our lost saint. You are the bridge between flesh and machine, the living algorithm. You built gods out of fear, I say quietly. Don't try to build one out of me. The third soldier twitches like a puppet fighting its strings. The rift reawakens. The saint must enter to stabilize it. The daemon is returning. My blood goes cold. Kairos. Probability suggests yes. The anomaly endures. The ground shakes again. The cracks widen. Red light spills upward in threads that twist into the air like smoke. I step back. The soldiers don't move. Their eyes flicker white as if waiting for something. Then I hear the voice. It crawls out of the rift, smooth, calm, and cruel. Did you think light destroys darkness? It only teaches it how to hide. Kairos. His tone is quieter now, confident. You cut my thread, little storm. But threads grow back. I found new hands to weave me. The soldiers' eyes flare crimson. Their rifles rise as one, aimed at me. The daemon is inside them. You learned to lie, I say. Good for you. I lift my hand, palm open. The air bends between us. The first shot goes wide. The second hits a car beside me, turning it into molten glass. I push. The force slams into them like a wave, throwing 2 into the walls. The leader holds his ground, his weapon burning with warp fire. He fires again. The blast hits my barrier. It feels like my brain catching fire. The daemon speaks through him, both mouths laughing in one body. You cannot destroy me. I am every possibility you fear. Then fear this. I shove harder. My power floods the air, thick as water. Lightning crawls along my arms, through my skin, down my veins. The leader's armor cracks, splintering under invisible weight. He screams not in pain, but in reverence. Saint of the Gate, he gasps as his body breaks apart into shards of metal and ash. The others collapse behind him, circuits burning out. The air smells like blood and ozone. The rift pulses, wider now, light spilling across the street. The rain turns red. I feel the pull again, the same one that dragged me here the first time. The daemon's voice coils around it. You'll never stop opening doors. It's what you are. Maybe, I whisper, but I can choose where they go. I step to the edge and stretch my mind down into the red storm. I see it all. The warp seething below, rivers of molten thought and screaming stars. Hawkins hovering above, fragile and bright. Every door I ever opened, every monster that ever followed me out. They all lead here. My nose bleeds, my hands shake, my vision flickers black and white. The daemon laughs. Your heart is a key. Break it, and you'll make the perfect lock. I ignore him. I think of Hopper again. Make it simple, kid. Don't fight the whole world. Just fix what's in front of you. The rift. I pull it open wider. Not with fear this time, but precision. The red light lashes out, wrapping around my arms. It burns, but I hold steady. I push my memories into the light, the lab, the woods, the snow, the faces of everyone I've loved and lost. They flow like water through me into the rift, and for the first time, it doesn't fight back. The light turns white, the screaming stops, the cracks in the ground begin to seal, slow and steady. The air thins. I fall to my knees, shaking, gasping for breath. The red fades, replaced by faint blue light flickering across the wet street. For a heartbeat, everything feels peaceful. Then the silence breaks. A whisper crawls into my ear. "You closed it," Kairos says, "but you didn't close yourself." My shadow moves before I do. It stretches across the pavement, splits in two, and smiles back at me with my own face. The eyes glow white. I stumble backward. "No," I whisper. The shadow steps forward. "Yes," it answers. "You are every door you open, and I am what comes through." My head fills with static, all my thoughts screaming over each other. I try to shut it out, but it's inside now, every wound, every fear, every moment I thought I was alone. It feeds on it. "You can't exist without me," it says. "You built me to survive your guilt." I shake my head, forcing focus. "You're not real." It grins wider. Neither is mercy. It lunges. I meet it halfway. The street explodes in light. We slam into each other, power against power, thought against thought. Every nerve in my body burns. Every scream sounds like my own. The reflection fights like I do, fast, angry, deliberate. For every hit I land, it lands one back. We trade pain until I stop resisting and pull it in close, hand gripping its wrist. "If you're me," I say through my teeth, "then you know what happens next." It hesitates. That's all I need. I reach inside its mind and drag every memory back into mine, every piece it stole, every fragment it twisted. The light grows too bright to look at. Then, nothing. Just darkness and rain. When I wake up, I'm lying in the middle of the street. The sky is quiet again. The cracks are gone. The rain is clear. My mark glows softly under the skin, faint but warm. The shadow's gone. Maybe for now. I get up slowly. My body feels heavy, but my head is clear. Hawkins is still broken, but breathing. So am I. I start walking toward the horizon, the smell of wet asphalt following me, the faint echo of laughter fading into memory. Somewhere above, thunder rolls. I look up and whisper, "Not again." Then I keep walking, one step at a time, toward whatever's left to fix. I keep walking until the clouds split into pale gray and the edges of dawn try to show themselves through the haze. The storm has calmed, but the silence feels heavier than thunder ever did. Hawkins is half asleep, lights flickering weakly in broken windows. I pass the theater first. Its sign is half gone, the letters rearranging themselves like they're trying to spell something that used to matter. I don't read it. I've learned not to listen when the world tries to talk back. The air hums in my ears the same way it used to when I'd push my power too far. Every nerve still tingles from the fight. I should rest, but rest feels like permission, and I can't give myself that yet. Not until I know the gate won't open again. I turn down Maple Street. The houses here look normal, too normal, like the town built a mask overnight. Curtains hang still, cars parked straight, no sign of panic. But the smell gives it away. Not smoke or blood. Metal, wet, sharp, electric. The same scent that filled the hive world before everything fell apart. I stop in front of one house, Mrs. Wheeler's. The doors open a crack. The porch light blinks in and out, like it's breathing. My stomach tightens. I step inside. The air is colder. The sound of flies fills the kitchen, but there's no food, no bodies, nothing. Just the refrigerator humming the wrong tune. It's whispering. I put a hand on it. A static voice bleeds out. We waited. We obeyed. I yank my hand back. The whole house shivers. The walls start to ripple. I move fast, heading for the stairs, but the shadows move faster. They stretch, pulling themselves into shapes, into faces I know. Mike, Will, Dustin, Lucas, Max, all of them, pale, hollow, their eyes glowing like the streetlights outside. "You came back," Mike says. His voice sounds like a recording played through a broken radio. "We missed you." I back away. "You're not them." Max steps forward. Her skin cracks along her neck, blue light shining through. "We are what's left." Will's head twitches sideways, the motion jerky, wrong. "He said we could be perfect if you opened the door again." Kairos. I can feel him behind their words. Feeding them, using them. I clench my fists. "You don't belong here." "Neither do you," Dustin says. His smile is a slit across his face. They all move at once, closing in, their steps silent. I don't give them the chance to touch me. I push. The air implodes, furniture bursts, walls bend, and the floor cracks beneath us. The light in their eyes flickers, sputters, dies. When the dust clears, they're gone. Not bodies, just empty clothes and fading shadows. I sink to my knees, my breath shaking. My hands won't stop trembling. "I'm sorry," I whisper. The house answers with creaking wood, like an exhale. The mark on my wrist burns hotter. I look down. The glow isn't gold anymore. It's red. Something's bleeding through. I can feel it pushing from underneath my skin, trying to crawl out. I bite down on my lip until the taste of iron cuts through the panic. I have to keep moving. The rift isn't gone. It's migrating. The warp's looking for another door. I'm the easiest one to find. I leave the house and step into the street again. The sky has changed colors, gray to violet, then to black again. No sunrise, just the same false light cycling over and over. The air trembles, and I see shapes forming at the end of the street. Not soldiers, not daemons. These are worse. They're people, twisted in half by the pressure of two worlds that never agreed on how humans should look. Arms too long, faces stretched thin like plastic, bodies half phasing through the ground. I can see the void shining through the cracks in them. They move in jerks and spasms, dragged forward by something unseen. I don't run. I've run enough in my life. I plant my feet and breathe slow. The world narrows to the sound of my heartbeat. One of the creatures lifts its head. It tries to speak, but all that comes out is a wet hiss and the smell of static. Behind them, red lightning tears the sky open again. A hand of smoke pushes through. I know that shape. Kairos doesn't need a body to find me anymore. He's using the world itself as one. His voice rolls through the thunder. "You killed my face. You broke my bones. But you never touched the dream." I grit my teeth. "You should have stayed dead." "You taught me resurrection," he says, laughing. "Now watch your home learn it too." The ground convulses. The earth splits, and buildings tilt as roots of black light burst from the cracks. Each one pulses, spreading crimson veins through the town, wrapping around houses, power lines, the sky. The air fills with screams, human, machine, and something older than both. I raise my hand and push. The first wave of force hits the roots, slowing them. The second one burns them. But for every one I destroy, 3 more take its place. My body feels like it's tearing itself apart. My nose bleeds freely now. My head rings with every pulse. Still, I don't stop. I can't. If I give up, the world ends. It's that simple. "You can't fight forever," Kairos whispers. "Every time you win, you carve another scar into reality. Soon there will be no flesh left to heal." "Then I'll burn the scars too," I say. "I'll burn everything you touch." I let go of the restraint I've held since I got back. The power floods out of me like water from a broken dam. The lightning obeys, striking in lines that trace my heartbeat, cutting through the roots, the sky, the world. The explosion lights the entire town in blue and gold. When it fades, I'm standing in a crater where Hawkins used to be. Smoke rises from the ruins. The black roots are ash. The air is quiet except for the sound of falling rain. My legs buckle. I drop to the ground, my hands shaking uncontrollably. The mark on my wrist stops glowing. The skin there is burned, scarred, but normal. I look around at what's left. It's not much. The town is gone. But the air feels lighter, cleaner. No whisper, no presence, no warp. I might have done it. I might have ended it. The thought should feel like victory. It doesn't. It feels empty. The rain washes the blood from my face. I close my eyes and listen. The silence feels final. Then, faintly, a sound, a heartbeat, not mine. From somewhere under the ground, slow, heavy, familiar. I press my hand against the wet soil. No, I whisper. The heartbeat echoes again, louder this time, steady and rhythmic, like something enormous waking up. Kairos's voice returns, soft, almost tender. You were never fighting me, 11. You were fighting what you made to survive. The earth shakes. I stumble back. The crater splits open. Red light floods the air. From beneath, a shape rises, human, but not. My face, my body, my voice. Perfect, untouched, smiling. You left me there, she says. Now I'm taking us home. I stare at her. The rain stops. The air freezes. I can't feel my heart anymore. No, I say quietly. You're not me. She tilts her head. Then what are you? The ground cracks beneath us. The sky tears open again. The last thing I see before the light swallows us both is her smile, mine, reflected, endless. The light burns through everything. I don't scream, but I think I should. There's no sound here, only vibration. My body stretches, my skin turning into thread, my bones into signal. The storm collapses in on itself, and I fall through it again. For a heartbeat, I'm nowhere and everywhere, my reflection's laughter echoing across the empty air. Then, I hit ground. Hard. I roll onto my back, gasping, choking on smoke that smells like rain and blood. The world above me isn't Hawkins anymore. It's worse. The sky is a moving wound, black, shot through with veins of gold light and streaks of ash. The horizon burns like sunset trapped in glass. I push myself up slowly, my palms sinking into a surface that isn't dirt. It's smooth and warm, humming beneath my fingers like a heartbeat that doesn't belong to me. I look down. It's not earth at all, it's flesh. The whole ground is alive, stretched and trembling. I'm standing inside something that's breathing. Welcome home, a voice says behind me. I turn, heart hammering. She stands there, the copy, the echo, the part of me that shouldn't exist. Her clothes are clean, her face unscarred, her eyes calm and cruel. She looks at me like she's already won. You did this, I whisper. You tore it open. She tilts her head slightly. No, you did. I just stopped pretending it wasn't beautiful. The air distorts around her. Shapes crawl out of the walls, demogorgons, rats, warped soldiers, everything I've ever killed, pulled from memory and remade in her image. They circle me, their forms twitching, their bodies stitched together by red lightning. You're not real, I say, but my voice shakes. I'm the part of you that stopped being afraid, she says. The part that didn't cry when Brenna locked you in that room. The part that didn't hesitate when Hopper begged you to stop. You buried me every time you chose mercy. Her eyes flash white. Now mercy's dead. The monsters rush forward, screeching, a blur of claws and teeth. I raise both hands, the air bending outward with a single pulse. The first wave disintegrates, ash scattering like snow. The second keeps coming. I move faster, twisting the energy through them, each burst more violent than the last. Their screams shake the sky, but they keep reforming, like shadows that refuse to die. I can feel her watching me, arms folded, bored. You can't kill them, she says. They're made from the pieces you tried to forget. I push harder. My blood burns. My knees buckle. My reflection lifts a hand lazily and the ground rises with it, a wall of flesh forming between us. I throw everything I have at it, but it doesn't move. "Stop fighting what you are," she says, stepping closer. "You opened the gate because you wanted to see what would happen. You stayed because you liked the power. Don't lie to me." "I was a kid," I snap. "I didn't understand." "You understood enough to enjoy it," she whispers. The words cut deeper than claws ever could. The monsters fade back into the dark, leaving us alone. The air hums like electricity before a storm. She steps closer, and for a moment, we're inches apart. I see the mark on her wrist, the same as mine, glowing brighter, burning through her skin. "You can't keep pretending you're different from me," she says. "You and I were born from the same experiment, the same fear. You just chose to wear guilt like armor. And you chose to become what they made us," I say. Her smile doesn't fade. "Because it's easier than forgiveness." She places her hand on my chest. "It's warm. Too warm." "Let go," she whispers. I grab her wrist. "No." She tightens her grip, and light bursts through the point of contact. The world spins. My lungs seize. The power surges between us like a current, tearing the air apart. My vision fractures two worlds overlaying each other. The hive world, Hawkins, the warp, all layered, all alive. She leans in, her voice breaking through the roar. "If you destroy me, you destroy yourself." "Maybe," I say. "But at least you'll be gone." I pull her closer and shove every memory I have into her, every moment of pain, of loss, of guilt. The night I killed the soldiers in the lab. The look on Mike's face when I left. The emptiness after Hopper died. The ache of coming back to find nothing the same. All of it. The weight of it hits her like a wave. Her smile falters. The ground splits beneath us. Lightning cascades through the air. "Stop," she gasps. "You don't need to." "Yes, I do." I tighten my grip. "You're everything I ran from." Her form flickers, the edges of her body fraying into static. "You can't live without me. Watch me." I let go. The blast tears through the air, white and blinding. Her scream echoes through every layer of reality, fading into silence. When it's over, I'm alone again, standing on solid ground that no longer breathes. The sky clears, the light softens. My reflection is gone. I fall to my knees, shaking, my chest heaving. My hands are covered in blood and light. I don't know if it's hers or mine. The ground hums once, low and distant, then stills. The air feels different, cleaner, quieter. I look down at my wrist. The mark is gone. The skin there is smooth, empty. I should feel relief. I don't. I feel hollow. I reach out with my mind, searching for any trace of her, of Kairos, of the warp. Nothing. Just silence. Then a sound. Footsteps. Soft, steady, human. I turn, half expecting another ghost, another lie. But it's him. Hopper. His coat soaked through, his beard streaked with gray, his eyes tired but alive. He looks real. He feels real. "Hey, kid," he says quietly. My throat closes. "You're dead." He shrugs, half smiling. "Maybe, maybe not. You've been breaking a lot of rules lately." I stare at him, afraid to move. "Is this another trick?" "No trick," he says. "You closed the gate, the right way this time." My eyes sting. "How do I know?" He takes a slow step forward. "You don't. You just choose to believe it." He reaches out his hand. I hesitate, then take it. It's warm, solid. The warmth spreads up my arm, grounding me. "I'm tired," I whisper. "I know," he says. "You did good." He looks around at the sky, now fading to gray. "You going home?" "I don't know where that is anymore." He nods slowly. "Then start with anywhere." I look up. The clouds are thinning, sunlight breaking through for the first time in what feels like years. "It's over?" I ask. "For now," he says, "but doors never stay closed forever." I manage a small smile. "Then I'll be ready." He squeezes my hand once, then lets go. When I look again, he's gone. The field around me is empty, quiet, peaceful. I close my eyes and breathe. For the first time, the silence doesn't scare me. I turn toward the horizon, where the light is strongest, and start walking. The air smells like rain and earth. My power hums faintly under my skin, no longer burning, just alive. Each step feels lighter, freer. Maybe this isn't home, maybe it doesn't have to be. Somewhere behind me, thunder rolls one last time, deep and distant, like a heartbeat fading into sleep. I keep walking, and the world finally breathes with me. The road stretches on for miles, cracked asphalt bleeding into fog, telephone wires drooping like veins across the horizon. Hawkins is a silhouette behind me now, fading into mist and memory. I don't look back. If I do, I might start believing the quiet is real, and I know better than that. The air feels cleaner, but not safe, never safe. Safety is a story people tell themselves when they're tired of being afraid. I've been afraid most of my life, so I know how to recognize a lie. The sun tries to rise, though it looks weaker than I remember. Its light feels filtered, cautious. The world doesn't trust itself anymore. I get that. Neither do I. My boots scrape through wet gravel, and each step feels heavier than the last. My body's still healing from the fight with her with me. The burns along my arms are starting to scar, the skin textured like ash and gold. It doesn't hurt, but it doesn't feel like mine either. My powers have been quiet since that day. Not gone, just asleep. I can sense them beneath my ribs, curled up like an animal that's learned patience. I keep walking until the road splits. One path leads toward the forest, the other vanishes into a tunnel of black trees. I stop at the fork and listen. The wind whistles through the power lines, carrying whispers I almost recognize. Words half-formed, lost in static. I focus, pushing past the noise. It's not the wind, it's her voice, my reflection. Did you think killing me meant you'd be free? The whisper brushes the back of my neck. I freeze. The air around me shifts, growing colder. My heartbeat picks up. You're gone, I say quietly. I made sure. The voice laughs softly. You burned the house, not the foundation. I glance at the ground. My shadow stretches farther than it should, crawling past the edge of the road like liquid. It twitches when I move. You're not real, I whisper. You're what's left of the noise. The shadow ripples, and for a heartbeat, I see her face staring back at me through the darkness. My own face, smiling. Then it's gone. The mark on my wrist throbs again, faint gold light pulsing under the skin. I thought it disappeared when the fight ended, but it just went deeper, hiding like everything else that refuses to die. I press my fingers to it, and a sharp pain shoots up my arm. I stumble forward, gasping, as the air around me warps. The world flickers. One blink, and I'm not on the road anymore. I'm standing in the middle of the lab. The lights hum overhead. The walls are white, perfect, sterile. The smell of bleach burns my throat. My chest tightens. My feet won't move. I know this place. I know every sound. The hum of electricity, the faint tapping of boots echoing down the hallway, the voice of a man who thought he owned me. Brenner, you've come back, he says from somewhere behind me. I told you the door swings both ways. I turn slowly. He stands in the doorway, looking exactly the same, not a day older. His hands clasped behind his back, his eyes calm, almost kind. The image hits me harder than any weapon could. You're not real, I say again, but it sounds weaker this time. Real enough to hurt you, he says. You never understood 11. We weren't building monsters, we were building order. You built cages, I snap. You called them children. He smiles faintly. And what are you without the cage? Look at you lost, wandering through holes you can't stop creating. You think you're saving worlds, but all you do is open more of them. You don't get to talk about saving anything. My hands shake, the light above flickers, the air grows heavier. He takes a step closer. You killed me once. You think it matters if you do it again. I lift my hand, but he's faster. His form shatters into dust that hits me like a wave, burning through my thoughts. The lab walls ripple, dissolving into static. The voice that follows isn't Brenna's anymore. It's hers again. You can't escape what made you. The world folds back to the road. I drop to my knees, gasping, sweat freezing on my skin. My vision blurs. I dig my fingers into the dirt until the dizziness fades. The mark on my wrist burns brighter, then dims again. The gold is almost gone now, replaced by faint black cracks spidering outward. "You're not winning," I whisper to the air. "You're just noise." The silence answers me. Then, faintly, footsteps echo from somewhere ahead, not behind, forward. I get up slowly, steadying myself, and follow. The road narrows into a bridge I don't remember. It stretches over a river that's black and still, reflecting the sky like glass. There's something wrong with the reflection. It moves slower, delayed by a heartbeat. I step onto the bridge. My reflection doesn't. It just stands there, waiting. I walk farther. The wood groans beneath my feet. Halfway across, I stop. My reflection smiles. Then it moves, not to follow me, but to rise. It steps out of the water, dripping shadows, its body solidifying. My mirror again. "You keep chasing endings," she says, "but you don't understand what ending means. You died," I say. "You were supposed to stay gone." "And yet, here you are," she replies. "Alive, alone. That's not living, that's surviving. You think we're different because you feel guilt? Guilt is just pride wearing a mask." I shake my head. "You're a ghost." "No," she says softly. "I'm gravity. The part of you that wants to fall." The bridge cracks beneath us. The water below starts to boil. She tilts her head. "You could let go, you know. No more fighting, no more pain. Just silence. For a second, I want it." The thought is clean, simple. A doorway with no monsters waiting behind it. But then, I see their faces again. Hopper, Mike, Max, all of them. The ones who pulled me out of darkness more times than I deserved. I can't leave them behind again. "I'll take pain over nothing," I say. My reflection sighs. "Then you'll keep bleeding." She lunges. I move fast, grabbing her wrist, twisting. The air explodes around us. Lightning cracks the sky. The river erupts. We crash to the bridge, rolling, fists and power colliding. Every strike sends shockwaves through the wood. She fights like I do, every move anticipated, every thought countered. I'm fighting myself in every way that matters. "You can't destroy me," she snarls. "I'm every reason you kept killing." "No," I hiss, slamming her down. "You're every reason I stopped." The light bursts from my chest, spreading outward, swallowing the bridge, the river, the sky. My reflection screams, her voice dissolving into the storm. The sound fades until it's just wind. When the light dies, I'm lying on the ground again. The bridge is gone. The river is gone. Everything is gone. Just a field stretching into the horizon, quiet and endless. My skin hums with leftover energy, but it feels stable now, balanced. I look down at my wrist. The mark is gone completely. Just skin, clean, empty. The air smells like rain again, but it's gentle this time, real. For the first time in a long time, I don't feel pulled in two directions. The silence isn't heavy anymore. It's calm. I breathe it in. Maybe the gate is finally closed. Maybe the war inside me is over. Or maybe it's just sleeping. Either way, I start walking again. I don't know where I'm going, but that's fine. For the first time, I don't need a destination. I just need forward. The fog thins ahead, breaking into light. A new sun rises behind it, bright and gold. I lift my face to it, let the warmth hit my skin, and I smile not because I've won, but because I'm still here to try. The light doesn't blind me this time. It washes over everything like water, warm and patient, creeping into every corner the darkness used to own. The fog thins until I can see the horizon stretch wide and endless. Grass bends in the wind, gold and green, alive. I walk slowly, each step lighter than the last, and for the first time in what feels like forever, the air smells clean. No smoke, no metal, no ozone, just earth after rain. My hands shake, not from pain or fear, but from the unfamiliar weight of peace. The silence doesn't scare me anymore. It feels earned. Every scar, every scream, every loss led me here. I look down at my hands. They're steady. The faint glow that always pulsed beneath my skin is gone. The power is still there, sleeping quietly, no longer clawing at my veins. It's not gone, it's just listening. I reach up to touch my face, expecting blood, expecting ash, expecting proof that I'm still half machine, half weapon. But my fingers come away clean. I breathe in deep, the kind of breath you forget how to take when you spend your life waiting for the next fight. The wind answers, carrying whispers through the field. Soft, familiar. Voices I once thought I'd never hear again. I close my eyes and listen. "You did good, kid," Hopper says, his laugh tangled in the wind. "You did real good." I almost smile. Almost. Then there's Mike. His voice is quiet, steady. "You found your way back. You always do." For a heartbeat, I see him, standing in the distance, just a shape against the light. Then he fades, and the whisper of his name on my lips disappears with him. They're not really here. I know that. They're fragments, echoes that never learned how to let go. But that's okay. Maybe that's what home really is. The parts of us that never stop calling, even when the rest of the world forgets. I walk farther until the ground begins to slope upward. The wind grows stronger, pushing against me but not to stop me, just to remind me I'm still alive enough to resist. At the top of the hill, the world opens wide. No Hawkins, no lab, no gates or monsters. Just a sky so wide it looks infinite. Clouds drift slow and lazy across it. For a moment, I let myself believe this is real. I sit down in the grass. It's cool and damp against my palms. The horizon ripples faintly, and for a second, I see something shimmering in the distance. A tear in the world, small, harmless, flickering like a candle flame. My first instinct is to close it, to seal it shut before something else crawls through, but then I stop. It's different this time. Not dark, not red. Soft blue light pulses from within it, and through it I can see sky. Just sky. No monsters, no screaming, just possibility. I laugh under my breath, the sound strange in my throat. "Always another door," I whisper. "Guess that's who I am." I stand and take a few steps closer, feeling the hum of energy brush my skin. It doesn't hurt. It feels like a heartbeat that matches mine. Where does it go? I ask the air, but there's no answer. There never is. I reach out, my hand hovering inches from the light. For the first time in years, I'm not afraid of what's on the other side. Maybe it's home, maybe it's nowhere. Maybe it's just another version of the same story, waiting to be rewritten. I smile, small but real. Let's find out. I step forward, and the world folds around me. The light swallows everything. I fall, not through chaos this time, but through calm, weightless, free. The sound of thunder fades into waves. The red skies dissolve into gold. For a heartbeat, I feel every version of myself. Child, weapon, monster, savior, collapsing into one. Not fighting, just existing. When the light fades, I'm standing on a beach. The sand is white, soft under my feet. The sea stretches endless ahead, the sky above full of color. No gates, no screams. Just wind and waves, and the sound of gulls. I kneel, scoop a handful of water. It's cold and clear, real. I let it run through my fingers, smiling as it soaks into the sand. "This will do," I whisper. A memory stirs the old promise Hopper made me repeat a lifetime ago. "You keep the door open 3 inches, he said, "but only for the ones who matter." I glance behind me. The gate has already vanished, leaving only air and light. 3 inches, just enough. I sit down in the sand, listening to the waves. The sun dips lower, touching the water. painting everything in fire and gold. For the first time, I don't feel like I'm waiting for the next battle. I don't feel like I'm running. I'm just here. The wind carries my name, soft, fading into the sea. 11. Not a number anymore. Just me. I lean back, close my eyes, and let the sound of the ocean fill the spaces where fear used to live. The tide creeps closer, washing over my legs, gentle and steady, like a heartbeat reminding me it's okay to rest. The light fades. The sky deepens into stars, and for the first time since I can remember, I let it end.